Hi everyone and welcome back to the WoW Embossing YouTube channel. It's Erica with you today and we are looking at pearl embossing powders this month. And here is the card that I made first before filming anything else. So I thought we'd look at how I made this card, and I've used this fun flowery background stamp from Hero Art, but you can use anything really that just gives a bit of fun like texture to your background, because the background itself is not going to be the focus. And here, instead of using a Misty, what I've done is I placed the stamp upside down or right way up, depending on how you look at it. And then I have liberally used my embossing pad on top of that. And then after having treated my cardstock with anti-static tool, I just place this upside down and rub on the back to pick up that embossing ink. And then on this one, we are going to use violet ink or violet pearl, more like it. On the card that I showed in the beginning, it's actually white pearl. So we're gonna have a look and see how this one looks different. And of course, just make sure that you cover your entire panel really, really well and go back and forth and then tap off the excess. Then with the magic of the heat tool, we are going to melt this powder. And I know, I say this every time in every single video, but look at the magic, la 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 la. I know, I'm still amazed by it and I still love it. And that whole melting process, it just, it is something special. It really is. And I think once you heat emboss, you won't stop. Am I right or am I right? Okay, I'm gonna try to rein it in now, but if you know me, then you know that's not probably gonna happen, so we're just gonna try to roll with it. Okay, but as we're getting to the end of the embossing of this panel, you will see that it's kind of, from the look of it now, it just kind of looks like I've used clear, but once we look at this close up, you're gonna see that nice pearly shimmer and see that the powder itself, even though it goes on white, actually ends up violet once it's heated. Oh, and I did also heat the panel a little bit on the back side just to kind of make sure that it's a little bit flatter. And there it is. There is the sparkle. This is my super easy little tool to keep my inky fingers from getting inky. No, that's not at all what it is. It's to keep my fingers from getting inky, but more importantly is to save my projects from getting fingerprints. So to make this just a little bit more dramatic, I am using wilted violet and a bit of black soot to kind of just create a little bit of a depth to the card. So I'm going around the edges with some ink here, and this is just purple, the wilted violet. And I'm using a life-changing blender brush to kind of get that really soft look towards the middle, because I don't want to cover the whole thing. It's just a little bit to kind of create a bit of that. And you see, that's really nice, right? But I wanted to make it really sort of the corners really, really deep. So I've gone in with a little bit of black soot, and you might think, girl, you crazy? But just a little bit, just a tiny, tiny bit. And then we're gonna go back in with that wilted violet to just really make that sort of more opaque purple, not black, more deep purple. So if you're a light hand with the black soot, although this looks really heavy, and then you just go over it with your color choice. It doesn't have to be purple, but just match it to the color cardstock that you're using and you will be good to go. And this is just really like fun way to just add a little bit more interest to the the background even. And here I'm using a very old kitchen towel just to clean off those embossing ridges, or the pattern basically, just to kind of really bring that to life, because I don't want it to be all like dark and dull. Here is my sentiment, and I'm going to use this Thinking of You. This is also from Hero Art. I've cut this out 3 times at a black cardstock, and then the top one is at a white cardstock. And you might have noticed that there's a little bit of like purple ink on there as well. I've just dabbed my life-changing blender brush on top of that just to kind of create a little bit of a color. I just wanted to add a little bit of color. On this one, I tried a Neptune, and you will notice that I have a little bit of a almost oops moment here. I had a fan on in my craft room while I was adding the embossing glitter to my sentiment. That is a big no-no. Otherwise, you will end up with glitter and powder all over your craft room. And we really don't have time for that, do we? Using my little corkboard and tweezer hack, I have pinned down my sentiment so that I can heat it without having to burn my fingers by holding it while I'm melting the powders. And this looks really cool, right? But to be honest with you, I didn't actually love the look of it. Because I actually thought that it was more gold. I thought I had Hero, but I didn't. So I decided to cover that up with Pearl Gold Sparkle. And I remember to actually turn the fan off so the glitter is not going all over the place. And I was very, very pleasantly surprised at the effect of having first done the Neptune and then adding the gold glitter sparkle on top. It did create this fantastic sort of ombre look. So, and this is the first time I've added a new color on top of another color. So this is something that I definitely will be trying in the future. And look at that, doesn't that look cool? It's almost like a two-tone gold. I like it, I really like it. And then this is actually my first panel, so I remember to film some parts of it, but then didn't actually do all of it. And I have just simply stuck down my card or background to a white card base, and I've left a little bit of like an edge around it just to kind of frame it a little bit. And then with some liquid. Yes, we're having big time problems talking today. I don't know what is going on. With a little bit of liquid adhesive, we are gluing that down. But because I made the second background, I thought, hey, let's try something else. So I've done the same thing where I've layered up the sentiment with black cardstock and then added a top one of white. On this one, I went in very heavy with the wilted violet even, and black soot at the bottom. And then I thought, let's try something new. So I used the violet pearl embossing powder on top. And you might have thought that, oh, it's a bit harsh with all that black at the bottom, but just wait until you see how it came out with that embossing powder on top. I was so freaking excited. I love how this one turned out. This one is definitely my fave out of the two. And then I showed my husband and he's like, no, I like the gold. I'm like, boy, you don't know, do you? No, it is ombre all the way. So we're gonna have a look at that close up, and look at that. That black at the bottom just went into a very, very nice purple instead. As I said, I love it. Then this whole thing got added onto another white card base as well. And here we have it, the two cards next to each other. Which one is your favorite? I think I like the white pearl background with the ombre, the purple ombre sentiment. But then I do like the gold sparkle too. Anyway, leave me a comment down below which one is your favorite, and don't forget to subscribe to the Wow Embossing channel for more tutorials and fabulous inspiration from the rest of the design team. That's it for me for today. Thank you for stopping by.